There you go. Right? I think that'd be really powerful. Right? Because
Yeah.
you could start off by like just doing chart analysis, whatever, and just placing trades manually. And then once you start seeing that you're doing this more often, you can say, okay, well, let's turn this into a bot and let's start having this thing get scheduled on a regular basis. Right? Okay, so let's see this here. So August 11th, August 3rd, June 24th. Nope, it's not doing it. June 16th, June 8th. So we asked it to do daily, but it did not do daily. Okay, so we found an issue here. Okay, so far this is actually working pretty well. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by the changes that you made. However, we ran into a snag. Right, so the first part was really good. Read over this conversation that I had with it and this AI agent. But I told it to make a Fibonacci. It did a good job with that. Then I told it to add stochastic oscillator and volume, and it did a pretty good job with that. Although there's one little detail here in that the volume is not lining up to the rest of the graph. And it's kind of in a pretty specific way. So if I like select volume at the bottom here, notice volume for March 20th, there's like a straight line down, but it does not line up with the circles in the line graphs, right? And then as I move through it, in the middle, they perfectly line up, right? The circles on the line graph line up exactly with the center of the bar for volume. But then as I go further right, they're off in the opposite direction, right? Like look here where on the right-hand side, I'm at the center of the volume bar, but the line graph has the circles, like the actual spots where it's on the line graph is off. So basically the volume and the line graph do not line up to each other properly. It's almost like the volume is compressed and the line graphs are spread out and they need to match up when you're looking at volumes and all that kind of stuff, or else it's confusing. It looks weird. Okay, and then another thing that went wrong here is things broke down when I asked it to change the chart to be daily cadence over the past 6 months. There's two failures that happen here. First of all, the running isolated Python test, the first one failed. Why did it fail? We need to figure out why it failed and make sure that we don't have failures like this again in the future. We need to avoid tool call failures in general. And then the second problem, and this is the bigger problem, is when it eventually actually worked, which is I'm glad that it retried and did it again and fixed itself. But the problem is I asked it for daily and it did not give me daily. It gave me weekly cadence here. I asked for daily and it gave me weekly, right? So it did not listen to me. So I'm wondering how, like, what exactly is the problem here? First, please just do the analysis around all this and tell me what's happening. And then let's talk about how to fix all these issues. I personally think we probably need an eval specifically around changing this chart to be daily cadence, and we probably need to have an eval around that. And then we need to figure out like why this thing didn't work because I've actually found that this is one of the biggest failure modes with this is if I tell it to go from monthly cadence to weekly cadence to daily cadence, right? It doesn't actually listen to me properly, right? Like what I mean by this is like, okay, the last data point is August 11th. The second to last is August 13th, so 8 days prior, but it should have been one day apart. The data point before that is July 24th, 2026. So that's, again, a week plus a bit more. Like it's not even like weekly. It's like 8 days apart each time, which is even stranger. If it was weekly, that would make a little bit more sense. But some of these data points they're apart from each other in really weird ways. Right? So I asked for daily and it did not give me daily. It gave me something that's not even really weekly either. I don't know what the heck this is. So we probably need to have evals or something like that around this to actually make sure that that works properly. Okay. What do you think about the look of this, by the way, Maurizio? Does it look good, or is there some ways that we can make it look better?
Well, I personally like it with bars better than line. With
Like
but
candlesticks?
huh? Yeah, the
Like
candlesticks.
candlesticks? Yeah, okay.
Um, but yeah, this looks good because if you can see the red line when the blue line crosses the red line, it goes up positive, right? The only thing is that maybe the time intervals might be a little bit different, but it looks fine, you know. I think if we when we get to a daily, it would change it better, but monthly right there is just it's just too spread out gaps.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that, but then just like the general aesthetics of it.
Yeah, I mean, I personally like the candlesticks better because you can see it in some of those wicks that you use in the candlesticks, kind of help you confirm some of your transactions. Right? Because the line graph it helps in some sense, but yeah, I just like the candlesticks better.
Okay, so let's put the candlesticks in. But that's not even really what I'm asking. Like, okay, we'll put in candlesticks, we'll
Oh,
see what that
okay.
looks like.
Yeah, no, it's
I mean, just
fine.
generally like, does this look good? You know what I
Yeah, what
mean?
I would do just a little bit different though, yeah, I would put like the bottom, the overbought and oversold, the delta K and delta D. I would put that like highlighted different because it kind of looked like it was intertwined into that same graph table, you know? Just do like a different background for it and make the 80 and 20% maybe bold out more.
Right, because these are
Because
all
when you
these are
add
all
the
different
Fibonacci to it,
subgraphs.
yeah, it's just gonna kind of like confuse the mind, the eyes, make that into a solid line. And make that
Okay.
background for just that in part of it just a little bit darker or lighter, just
Okay.
so you know it's different.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That makes sense. Yeah, because the this one top part here, from here to here, this is the price chart. Then there's
Yep.
another subgraph, which is the overbought and underbought, and this
Yeah.
sort of thing.
And if we can just do something and make them different, you can tell what
Okay.
different. I think that'd be better.
Can you also add to the list of things to do another really small change where basically here we have three subgraphs. We have one with the price, we have another subgraph with the stochastic thing, and we have another subgraph with the volume. And that's amazing that you broke that up. By the way, love that you broke it up. But it's hard to tell which one is which. Like they almost need to have like a